This is Jarrod Horak. Welcome to my latest Road to the 2023 Kentucky Derby video. And in this video, I'm going to be covering the Jerome Stakes at Aqueduct for Saturday, January 7th. It's a Kentucky Derby points race, 10 points for the winner, 4 for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, and then 1 for fifth. Now, if you're interested in my full card analysis from Santa Anita Park, head on over to therunawayhorse.com. You will find those full cards on my sales page each day Santa Anita runs. You can purchase individual full cards, weekly and weekend packages, or the entire meet at therunawayhorse.com on my sales page. Now, this is the first of 3 races I'm going to be covering in video format this week. The Jerome Stakes in this video, and then a couple races from Santa Anita Park, a Kentucky Oaks and a Kentucky Derby points race for Sunday, January 8th. Those races will be the Santa Ynez, which was supposed to be run last week. They canceled that and they've rescheduled it for this Sunday. And then the Grade 3 Sham Stakes, a Kentucky Derby points race. So check my YouTube channel for those videos. They will be coming up this week. But first, I'm going to be covering, for this video, the 8th race at Aqueduct. It's going to be the $150,000 Jerome Stakes for 3-year-olds, traveling a mile around one turn on the main track. Scheduled post time, 3:16 p.m. Eastern Time. Neural Network is number 1 for trainer Chad Brown. This one is a son of Cloud Computing, a Preakness winner for trainer Chad Brown. And then the dam sire on this one is Street Cry, so I'm not really concerned at all about this one-turn mile. I think he could probably, based on that pedigree, go even further than this and be successful. In his 7-furlong debut in the mud at Aqueduct on November 13th, that race was a slow early, fast late event. And from post 6 in a 7-horse field, he was able to work out a nice, comfortable outside stalking trip. And he was very professional that day. He ended up stalking. He was in 4th after a half mile. He took over the lead in the stretch, and then he pulled clear to win by 5 lengths under Joel Rosario. Now, this time, Manny Franco is going to ride. He was 5-1 in that debut, a good outside stalk and pounce winner. And then the show finisher was a next out winner. So he still has a lot of upside for Chad Brown. This race seems to have a decent amount of early speed, and this $120,000 purchase, I would expect that he's going to try to save ground from off the pace and try to pick them off in the stretch. The 2 circling the drain ran well in both of his starts at Laurel Park for trainer Brittany Russell. This one is a gelded son of West Coast, and in his 7-furlong debut, he was clearly second best, chasing the pace from an outer post. A decent effort there. And then the second time out, he ran a much better race, a mile and a 16th on a good track at Laurel. That was on December 9th. And he had the inside post in a 6-horse field, and he was just able to get out there. He was able to dictate the pace, and they weren't going fast, 49 and change, 115 and change. So it was a slow early, fast late event, and he was able to pull well clear. He had plenty left in the stretch since that pace was so slow, and he won by 7 lengths. So now he's going to face a much different pace scenario and a much different class of animal, because his debut was a maiden special rate race. His second race was against maiden claiming 45,000 company. Number 3, Valenzan Day, is one that certainly could impact the pace for trainer Linda Rice. And he's consistent. He's run 8 times, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. His 3 wins in his career debut at 5 furlongs at Belmont. He won an optional claiming race at 6 furlongs at Delaware Park. And then last time out, Aqueduct in the mud, optional claiming race, he won by 7 lengths. Now, Linda Rice claimed him for $50,000. Rudy Rodriguez had him for his first 8 starts. So now Linda Rice has him. He's got that early pressing speed. They only paid $15,000 for this one, and he's earned more than $158,000. So he did well for his original connections based on that purchase price and then how much he earned for them. And now going for Linda Rice, we'll see how he ends up being able to compete against better company. Now, he did face stakes company 3 times earlier in his career, the Tremont Stakes, the Sanford Stakes, and the Saratoga Special. And he did finish 3rd in the Tremont, but he wasn't any threat in those other 2 stakes races, and they were both graded races. And in this race, he could be up against it, but he did show a lot of ability in the mud last time out. It's looking like it's probably going to be a fast track, but we'll have to see how that ends up playing out. Still a few days away from this race. Lugan Knight is the next one in line for trainer Michael McCarthy. This one is a son of Golden Sense, and he's run well 3 times in 3 sprint races. His 6-furlong debut, he was battling on the pace, and he was clearly second best at Churchill Downs. That was in September. And then October 21st at Keeneland at 6.5 furlongs, second time out. From the inside post in a 12-horse field, he stalked the pace, and he won by a half length. And then in his 3rd career start, 6 furlongs at Churchill, an optional claiming race on November 26th. And in that race, He stalked the pace from post 6 in an 8-horse field, so he was 4 wide, stalking the pace, and he just finished up evenly. He finished 3rd, beaten a length and a half. Now, Victory Formation won that race, and then he came back and he won the Smarty Jones Stakes last week as the favorite, a Kentucky Derby points race. So Lugan Knight is going to try a longer distance in here. No reason why he wouldn't handle a 1-turn mile, but we'll have to see how he stacks up in here in this longer race for trainer Mike McCarthy. He should work out a good trip. I think he's got that decent tactical speed, so I think he can work out a good stalking trip. But he is stretching out a bit, and maybe he'll be a bit keen trying to get up closer to the pace in this longer event. Andiamo Firenze is certainly going to be a pace factor for trainer Kelly Breen. He's run 5 times with 2 wins, a second and a third. This one is a New York-bred son of Speightstown, and in his career debut in the slop, he won that one by 4 lengths at Belmont Park. In the Grade 3 Sanford second time out, he ended up finishing 3rd, and then his 3rd start in the Funny Side Stakes, he won that one easily, 6.5 furlongs at Saratoga in the mud. In the Champagne Stakes on the sloppy track, he was 4th, beaten 12 lengths, and then last time out, he bounced back with a stakes win at Finger Lakes. So if you look at his 5 starts, his 3 starts against New York Company, his maiden special weight debut, the Funny Side Stakes, and then that stakes race at Finger Lakes, he won those first 2 races easily, and then at Finger Lakes, he was 2nd by a nose. His 2 races against Open Company, the Grade 3 Sanford, he was 3rd, beaten almost 4 lengths, and the Champagne Stakes, he was beaten 12 lengths. So when he gets out of the New York bred ranks, he seems to struggle a bit, and he's not facing New York bred company here, and this is his first start since October, but he definitely will be a pace factor. Arctic Arrogance, another pace factor for trainer Linda Rice. He's run 4 times with 2 wins and 2 second-place finishes. This one is a New York bred son of Frosted, and Uncle Mo is the dam sire. Like the pedigree here in the career debut in the mud at Saratoga at 6 furlongs. He got out there, he set the pace, and he won by a length. Second time out, 7 furlong New York bred stakes race. He set the pace. He was clearly second best. In a 1-turn mile at Aqueduct in the Sleepy Hollow Stakes. That was on October 30th. In that race, he battled on the pace, and he pulled clear, and he won by more than 4. And then last time out, another race at Aqueduct, the Grade 2 Remsen, that was in the slop. And W. Nell and Arctic Arrogance got out there, and they controlled the pace, and they kept on going, and they dominated. So W. Nell was able to win that one. That one had the outside position and was able to wear down Arctic Arrogance and win that race by a half length. And those 2 were more than 11 lengths clear of the rest of the field. So that was a match race there. And they both ran well, and now Arctic Arrogance is going to cut back in distance in this race. We know he likes Aqueduct. We know he handles this distance, and he should be a solid pace factor, but he's not going to offer a lot of value as the 8-5 favorite. General Banker is the next one in line. This one's 1 for 8 lifetime. He lost his first 7 starts, but then in a state-bred stakes race at Aqueduct at 7 furlongs in the mud last time, he won by more than 8 lengths. So he graduated in that race, and he earned a good speed rating. And I think the key to turning it around for him has definitely been putting the blinkers on. He put the blinkers on October 16th in a turf route at Aqueduct, and he was 2nd, beaten 3/4 of a length. In his next start with blinkers, maiden special weight, 6 furlongs on the main track, he was 2nd there as well. And then last time I mentioned, he won that state-bred stakes race in the mud. So it could have been a combination of that wet track last time, and then improving with blinkers helped him get over the hump and get his first victory. So now, if he catches a fast track here, better company as well, stepping up to face better company, he could be up against it a bit. But he is at least a little bit intriguing, maybe for underneath purposes at 8-1. And then finally, Narciso Dali is 20-1 morning line, and he's run 6 times with a win, a second, and a third. That victory was at Aqueduct at 1 mile last time out on a good track, and he dropped from maiden special weight to maiden claiming 75, and he won by 6 lengths, and the pace was slow early and fast late. So he's one that from that outside post, he's not going to be able to get clear. He'll probably try to end up chasing the pace. So I think the pace could be lively in here. You could definitely see Arctic Arrogance up on the pace, along with Andiamo Firenze. Lugan Knight's one that should be forwardly placed, but I think he'll be sitting just off of him. Valenzan Day, the 3, definitely will be part of the pace. And then circling the drain, he's going to have to run faster earlier, but he likes to get involved early as well. So you can definitely see that the pace could be honest in here. I'm going to go with the 1 Neural Network as my top choice. I just think he could work out a decent stalking trip in here. I think he's going to save ground behind the speed. He's got a lot of upside. That debut was very professional, and it was a nice win, and he earned a quality late pace rating, mostly because the race was slow early and fast late, but a good effort in the mud. It's not easy to win at 7 furlongs in your debut, and then he caught a wet track as well. He was 5-1. He just performed like a professional horse, and I'm expecting in this race for him to possibly move forward and work out a good trip behind the speed. So I will make a win wager on number 1, Neural Network. I'll play an exacta, the 1 over the 4, Lugan Knight, and then the 6, Arctic Arrogance, and then I'll reverse that exacta, putting the 4 and 6 on top of the 1. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this content. And remember to stay tuned to my YouTube channel, because for January 8th, I'm going to cover those 2 stakes races, that Oaks and Derby points races that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I'm going to be covering them on my YouTube channel this week. So stay tuned for those videos. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.